As the sensitive souls that we are, we go through life and we pick up all this stuff. We pick up all this anxiety, not necessarily from ourselves, It doesn't necessarily only come from us. We pick it up from other people, or we pick it up from places we go to, or events, or we pick it up from the conscious collective, when something happens. We can pick it up because we are more sensitive souls, our energy antenna is more developed. And so I'm going to show you an exercise that helps tremendously with this, whether it's like anxiety from your past that's like built up from trauma, that's kind of a constant for you, or it's an anxiety attack that kind of sets in suddenly, or, panic attack. It's an exercise that really helps. But we need to know what's going on first. When the subconscious knows what's actually going on, then it's easier to integrate this exercise. And your consciousness will help integrate it when it knows what's actually going on. When we experience anxiety, we're operating out of our fear body, like our ego body. Right? It's a fear-based feeling, anxiety. And you're operating out of this fear body that's been developed. It's been, instilled into you to have an ego, to have this fear, through your upbringing or certain events, people, situations, places. It's all instilled on you. And so there's the ego body that most people seem to live in, and then there's the soul body, or the love body, your true essence, your true soul. When you first incarnate, or when you first go into the fetus as a soul, it's totally pure. You're a totally pure essence, especially in the spirit world. You're a totally pure essence of just pure, straight love. And, as you go through life, even in the mother's womb, you're collecting her emotions, you're absorbing them. And all this stuff, all these events, these, trauma, abuse, or relationships, people, situations, it all gets onto us. We absorb these things as sensitive souls because usually we're older souls, we're more developed, our energy antenna is more sensitive to other energy, so we collect all this stuff, and it's harder for us sensitive souls to deal with all this stuff because it can get overwhelming. These feelings build up and can get overwhelming. So what we're trying to do essentially with this exercise and healing in general is we're trying to move out of our fear body, like our ego body, and move back home. Go back home and come back home to our true, pure, nature, our true essence as a soul. Because this is the purest state of being. When we incarnate, it's pure, and then we get all this stuff, thrown onto us, placed onto us by society or our parents or people around us. So we're trying to come home to this pure state of being, and this is unique to you. Someone else's pure state of being might feel different. Each soul has a different personality, a different base personality with characteristics and traits. Someone's more bubbly naturally, or someone's more down to earth. So it's coming back to this true home frequency, your soul essence, that we are doing in healing and centering and releasing our anxiety. We're coming back home to our soul, and this is your soul essence. It's always been with you. It's eternal. It's been with you in every lifetime, every incarnation, every time, all the time that you're not incarnated. It's with you all the time. So this is like your home base, your home frequency. And as we go through life, we move into our ego body, our fear body, because it's what keeps us safe. So the goal is to move back home, to come back home to our pure self as a soul. And so this exercise is very powerful. So what you do is you take your right hand and you put it over your heart. Now you could use your left hand, whatever feels more natural. I find my right hand, it works great for me. So you take your right hand and you put it over your heart, and you just want to, take some deep breaths as you start doing this. Before you start doing this, take some time to come back to yourself. And then you want to take your left hand or your other hand, whichever you choose, and you want to put it kind of over your belly, kind of where your ribs start. And just breathe into that feeling. So you got your right hand over your heart, your left hand over your belly. You might start to feel the warmth of your hands, some kind of energy flow or buzzing. And just take some deep breaths into that. And so what this is doing, this is very powerful. It's creating an energetic feedback loop. An energetic loop between your heart, like your heart center, and your stomach, your gut. And so the heart center is the seat of your soul. It's where your soul essence resides, like your soul body, your pure essence, which is just love and happiness and joy. And then your stomach here it's the primal seat of your emotions. Like it's the primal fear center where our fear lives, where our fear body lives, and where our ego, kind of stems from. And so when you create this feedback loop from your heart to your stomach, you're essentially creating a feedback loop from your soul body to your fear body. And with the idea that love always prevails, which it does, love always wins no matter what. The fear body, over time, it will kind of weaken. The love will flow down from your heart to your stomach, your soul center to your fear center. And so just take some deep breaths into that. I like to close my eyes and just feel that connection. And, depending on how high your anxiety is, maybe it's a really big panic attack, or maybe it's just some kind of baseline anxiety that you feel most of the time. It might take, a minute to feel some results from this. It might take 10 minutes, it might take 30 minutes, or it might be kind of instant, like, oh yeah, man, I can settle into that. And so it's good to keep breathing, take deep breaths, like deep settling sighs. Release what you need to release. You might find that yawns come up, or sneezes. Those are both energy releases or shifts. You might find that tears come up. I've found that tears come up. You might find anger. You might find joy. It's a big emotional kind of adjustment when we do this anxiety release, this soul centering exercise. And I can feel some buzzing there for sure. I feel this fear going on in my stomach. I've had anxiety for a while. I was depressed for years through my childhood, and then I escaped the depression, but I flipped right into anxiety, the total other end of the spectrum. So this helps me tremendously just settle down and release my anxiety. And just be okay with what comes up too, right? It's a big, like I said, a big emotional adjustment. And you can practice this wherever too, it's not too weird looking or too crazy looking, it's very, very easy to do this anywhere you like. So I hope this helps, settle your soul, settle your system, and helps you come back home to your soul center.